Hola. Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, no, I got an eyelash in my eye. What's up with the feed? What is it? Is the feed not coming in good? Or well? Coming in good. Is the feed not coming in well? Are you guys not seeing me on the landscape live? I can't tell what you're trying to tell me. I can hear and see clear. It's good here. All right. I don't know what people are talking about. How's everybody doing today? Derek, everyone else is saying it's just fine over there. So you might want to recheck it or maybe do a restart over there on your side. But everyone over there says that. Well, yeah. Hello, everyone. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Corey. I was actually exhausted. I actually went to sleep before the game even ended. I was so tired yesterday. I think the stress of the Chargers game like wore me out yesterday. All right, let's get this thing going. Doop, doop, doop. The Chargers game didn't really bother me at all, to be completely honest with you. After Joe Alt went down, I knew we were screwed. I mean, really, once you're on your third left tackle, your second right tackle, and your second right guard, like, I'm just happy Herbert made it out without getting injured. So, I'll take 3 division wins and 1 game that doesn't matter loss. I'm cool with that. I can survive that. It definitely was a trap game. I said that on here. I said that yesterday was a trap game. Just felt like a trap game the whole way through. I think I got like a cut on my finger. Like I got like a paper cut or something. I don't know. But it's just like irritated and annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like not even like. It's not even like in pain, just annoying. Anywho, welcome on in. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're just getting this thing started as normal. We're actually a couple minutes early today. I just didn't want to wait till later, so I just got on earlier. That was all. I just didn't want to wait till later, so here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. Uh-oh. What did I just do? There. I think I just broke something. No, Twitch is down until the software I need to run it simultaneously starts working again, which hopefully will be like by the end of the week or something. But yeah, there was an update to the software and yeah, it's just the way it happened. My typical stream schedule, for those that are asking, I am on Monday and Tuesday at 7, Wednesday at 7:30, and Thursday I usually am on like 6:30. So it's around that time. So it's like 7:30, 6:30 ish, somewhere in there. And then Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. Call me if you do like the landscape style better, like on Twitch. That is also running on YouTube. So you can, if you don't like it in the portrait style and you want it that way, you can also get it that way. Just thought I'd let you know. What's going on, Mystic, Shannon? How you guys doing? Blinded Me, Dawn, Caitlin. How are you guys? How's everybody doing today? How do we lose the Giants? Again, we were down 4 offensive linemen and our best defensive lineman. So I think that's how. It's okay. We had to lose one. Again, I'll take 3 division wins and then a loss out of division. That's totally fine. We had to lose eventually. And we got the Commanders this week, so hopefully we just get healed up. Yeah, everybody, welcome on in. Welcome on in. We're just getting this thing started, getting this thing moving. You guys know how we do this thing. We're about to open it up and get everything going in just a second. We're just waiting on a couple things to get going, and then we'll turn on the phone lines, and we'll turn on the guest request box, and we'll turn on all the things. Dude, they had the Commanders thing. Dude, they had the perfect opportunity to be the Red Tails. It would have been perfect, but no, way to go with the Commanders. I don't even like that. I don't even like that name. It's a dumb name. All right, there's that. All right. Well, as you guys know, if you guys are, it doesn't seem like a lot of y'all are new here. What's going on, Don, Stacy, Aiden? What's going on? Seeing all those members up in the house. Love it. If you guys are new here, we're about to get this thing started. We'll open it up to some guests. We'll open it up to some phone calls. We'll open it up to the, we'll open it up to all this stuff. To have some conversations, just like we do. Cause this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Red Tails would have been legit. That would have been a legit name. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if they had called him the Red Tails, like, I would have like kind of become a slight fan. Like, I thought that would have been cool. I'd become a slight fan. Ugh. God, that was like loud as hell. Did you all hear that? I need to freaking grease this mic stand. Holy, it sound like an old creepy door in a haunted house. Did y'all hear that? Goodness gracious. That was one. Now it's not even doing it. Huh, that was weird. Sorry, it was funny. Anyways, we're about to open this thing up, get this thing going. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, let's get ready and take some guests, start having some fun. Like I said, I'm just kind of easing into the live. Just relaxing. We're a little early today anyway, so I'm just kind of easing in. Just enjoying the day. Y'all, if you like to support the live, I do have super chats. I do have uh the gift goal going on. And I have my pay links in my bio. So if you'd like to support the live, those are great ways to do it. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And always remember, you can become a super fan. You can become a member. That has always helped to support the live a lot and help me to keep doing this. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Love you guys. All right, let's open this thing up. Let's see where we're going. All right, phone lines are open. Let's get this thing started. No time like the present. No time like the present. I got to get off and take the second skin off. John, thank you so much for the jewels. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the 10 jewels. That's very sweet of you. Hello, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm amazing. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Awesome. What year were you born?
2007.
Awesome. Well, I can't really ask, do you still support Trump? Because you like are really young.
Huh?
So I don't know.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
up? What's on
No,
your mind?
I've actually supported him for a couple of years now.
That's weird.
How is that weird?
For being 16 years old and supporting a political candidate, like especially one that's like trying to take away your future, it's very strange. But I mean, hey, I guess to each their own. I guess I just had different priorities when I was 16 years old and supporting, you know, I was like playing sports and like chasing girls and stuff. So I guess it's just a different world, but that's totally fine. So why did you
Yeah,
start
I'm
supporting
actually
him as a child? Besides apparently rampant indoctrination.
uh, not indoctrinated. Okay. I have one question for you. I was just wondering, like, what what side do you support?
I don't support a side.
Like, not like no, like no government at all.
I
Like,
didn't say
you're
that.
not gonna vote.
I didn't say that. I vote in every election.
My brain hurts.
Obviously,
Then who do you vote for?
the best candidate.
What was that last election?
Which election?
2024.
2024. There was multiple elections. I voted in state, local, regional. I voted in federal elections. I voted in multiple spots in federal elections. Which one?
Let's just go with state.
State elections.
Yeah.
I voted for the Democrat in my district who didn't have a chance of winning because we're very highly, Republican where I live. And then for legislature, I also did the same, but again, didn't really stand much of a chance. The names are not important because they won't be recognizable in this format. Who did you vote for? Oh, wait, never mind. You couldn't have. Anyways,
Yeah, no, I wasn't
so
18
why,
though.
again, did you support Trump as a 16-year-old besides, again, rampant indoctrination?
It wasn't indoctrination, just simply that I was raised Republican, kind of. Not indoctrinated, but also not shoved to that side, but a little nudge, a little bit.
So indoctrination.
Okay.
Where'd you go? I was really trying to get this thing out, dude. I don't know why you ran. I thought we were having a good conversation. Dude, I know it's probably really, really hard to like understand that you were indoctrinated, okay? As somebody who was indoctrinated into religion, I understand it's a difficult concept to come across, okay? But it's okay. All right. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Awesome. What year were you born?
2004.
2004? Nope, that don't work out.
Fine, can I just explain my reasoning why I support him?
No. I'm not great at math, but 2004 would make you 20 or 21, depending on when that was. Not 19. Hello, how are you? Hello?
Hello.
All right, we're gonna see if we can get a good caller in here. We'll see what's up. For that caller that was out there that I told you were being indoctrinated, don't feel bad about it, man. The first step to being able to beat indoctrination is to understand that you're indoctrinated. Okay? Which again, I understand it's not a comfortable feeling. Okay? I just want to let you know that. It's not a comfortable feeling to realize that the only reason that you believe what you believe is because you were raised to believe what you believe. All right? That's an okay thing. It's tough. I've been through it. Okay? Hello, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
It's going okay. How old are you?
Excuse me, could you repeat?
How old are you?
30.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
I was just, scrolling through YouTube and I saw that exchange you had with that kid. It seemed a little disingenuous, right? Because I think realistically, when you say something like you've been indoctrinated, like you're trying to make a young person sound stupid, but B, I believe that by any metric of indoctrination that you would have or I would have, we all are indoctrinated to some point. So I would ask you, for that young kid, how would you describe being indoctrinated?
First of all, he was a grown adult. Okay? So it's time to put on your grown adult pants. All right? He was not a child.
You said specifically, why did you support him as a child? So
right, but he's not a child anymore. He was the one who came on here and said, I've been supporting him since I was younger. Okay, so let's get that clear. Okay. Second of all, yes, there is some type of indoctrination that goes on in a lot of different things. Okay, but it's not freaking disingenuous to say that he's indoctrinated. He was indoctrinated. You know how I know he was indoctrinated? Because when I said, are you indoctrinated? He said no, and then described what indoctrination is. Okay. The same way, like I said, I was indoctrinated with religion. Hold on, sir. I'm still talking. I let you finish your sentence just fine. Okay. Yep. Just like I was raised in the church and before I could walk, I was in a church. I was indoctrinated into Christianity. Okay. It takes a lot of freaking will and understanding and, education in order to break that indoctrination. If you're offended by that, then I think that you need to just worry about yourself, because it sounds like you're just being offended for somebody else. That's really not your problem, okay? Yeah. I had that conversation with that person, and now I'm having a conversation with you. So instead of talking about him, okay, I asked you, why do you still support Trump? What's on your mind? And how about we go down that level of conversation? Sound good?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I would just like to clear up. So you are having a show, and do you think that there's no continuation between conversations? I feel like that's kind of the point of having a show. If I would think there should be no continuation.
Well, then you should start a show.
That's not what I was saying.
Okay, then how about you let me run my show the way I want to, and then if you want to start a show, you can run it the way you want to.
Happy to let you.
All right, awesome. So again, can we please move on with the conversation?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
And your question was, why do I still support Donald Trump?
Yep.
Correct? Yeah. So I support Donald Trump because he personally makes my country and the people I care about better off, specifically. How? So for me, I am in the technology sector, right? I work with a lot of people, and specifically one problem that I have seen throughout this industry is H-1B abuse, right? So one specific policy, which he has recently introduced, is a one-time tax, or it's not necessarily a tax, it's a fee increase in H-1B applications. That's just one way.
All right, and how does that stop companies from abusing H-1B visa recipients?
because it is now 100 times more expensive than it previously was.
Oh, I'm very
Changing the
aware that
fee-
it's a lot more expensive. I asked you how that stops the companies from abusing those people.
So are you talking about abusing H-1B people? I'm talking about abuse of a system.
Oh, okay. So how are H-1B visa people abusing the system?
So are you familiar with the legislation passed? and
Very
what's the point
familiar.
of-
You can answer the question now.
So what is the purpose
It's
of
insane.
an H-1B visa? Do you know that?
Yes.
What is it?
Again, this is not a question and answer. Okay. I understand it's to bring in educated people for high paying jobs to work in specific sectors, including things like tech, medical. I understand the entire point of it. I also understand that we have a high abuse system within H-1B visas, not from the people that are abusing the system as in the people that are coming over, but actually from the companies who actually hire them, because what they do is they hire them. And since they hire them, they control them in their visa process. And so therefore they are overworked and usually underpaid, even though they work in the higher sectors, which actually is the reason why they companies bring them over, okay, is because they know that they can overwork them and underpay them for these high-paying jobs that the Americans don't want to work for. Have I demonstrated my ability to understand the H-1B visas enough for you?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
I'm very
perfect.
surprised
So
that-
how are people abusing the H-1B visa
I'm
system?
answering.
All right, perfect. Thank
So,
you.
So thank you for taking the MAGA view of the H-1B visas. I really appreciate that. That's your view.
That's
It's
not a
also my
MAGA view. That's
right?
just what's happening.
So the reason that it is abused is because it's a visa for specifically high-skilled workers, which is supposed to be temporary, while you find a high-skilled American worker. So the idea being they should be high-skilled. If you look at, for example, last year's 2024 reports, most of the H-1B visas were filed specifically for people who are at an entry to intermediate level position. So therefore, that is an abuse of the system.
Well, actually,
Okay.
if you actually look at the people that were actually hired, they actually much higher. They actually qualified much higher positions. They were actually hired
Yeah, I
on
expected
into
you to
entry level
focus on that,
positions,
buddy.
which is what I was talking about when I said that they are overworked and underpaid based off of their experience. My question to you, sir, is if the problem with H-1B visas is the people that are hiring the people, right? Because even you're saying, hey, they're supposed to be a temporary thing, but the companies are abusing that, okay? And the companies are
And
doing
we
all these
agree on
things.
that point.
Okay, what I'm asking you is, how does that affect the companies? Why, okay, are we stopping people that are the most educated people in other countries that come over to this country for multiple things like research development, medical development, technology development?
You're talking about a
Okay.
different visa, by the way. That's called an O1 visa.
No, I am
So,
talking about
yeah.
H-1B visas, and I'm specific,
Okay.
being very specific on what I'm talking about. You're trying to differentiate the two, but even though they are different, we actually see the H-1B visas are used in all of those areas.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you're not super educated on this topic. I work at a very large tech firm, so I understand this process quite well.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm
basically
sure
what-
that sweeping up the floors in that tech firm is working really, really great. My question to you, and maybe I haven't made it quite specific enough for you, okay, is why are we not more going after the companies? We do see that these H-1B visas, not all of them.
That we are going after the companies?
How?
Do you think who is paying the fee? Do you not understand this whole process?
No one will be paying the fee.
Oh, yeah, I mean, okay. So, like, as a company who petitions for an H-1B visa, I go to a law firm. Under that law firm, they file on behalf of the company, not the person, the company. Therefore, there's a fee associated with it. Who picks up that bill? It's not the person.
No one.
It's not the law firm. It is the company.
No one will
Like,
be picking up that. No one will be picking that up.
So you're telling me that there is no fee for $100,000?
No, I'm saying nobody will pay the fee.
Yeah, okay, I mean, like, you clearly just have no idea how
You
the
think
legal immigration.
you think that raising the H-1B visa price from 5,000 to 100,000 or whatever it is, right? I believe it's 100,000.
You're talking
right?
about price. I'm talking about a filing fee. Like, my wife is literally an immigration attorney. She deals with H-1Bs all the time. I have great sympathy for H-1B visa holders. A lot of them are my friends. I am describing to you a process. If you do not think that, I can clearly tell here that you're trying to be like, oh, I know how this works. Nobody has to pay a fee It's like, no, you're 100% wrong.
That's not
Like,
what I was
do you not
saying. You are trying so
Yes,
hard, sir.
You
You are trying,
specifically
sir.
said no one is paying that fee. You specifically said no one is paying that fee.
Oh, goodness gracious, sir. Sir, you are trying so hard to be smart on this subject that you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Smart. I'm literally telling you there is a fee associated with a
Okay, then how about this?
application.
Let me break it down to your level, and then maybe you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, because you're
Perfect.
clearly
Break
not
it down.
educated on this subject. Okay. All right, awesome. So Donald Trump's new legislation for H-1B visas, what did it do?
It's not legislation. It's an executive order.
Sure,
But
policy. That's fine.
What did it do? So there's a specific fee when you file for a visa,
Mhm.
right? H-1B is company specific.
Yep.
Companies have to pay a fee to the Department of Labor.
Correct.
In order to file for a new H-1B petition,
Mhm.
there is a fee associated at that.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, it was $1,000.
$5,000.
This week, it's $100,000.
It was 5,000 before. Now it's 100,000. Copy. So do you think that the majority, the overwhelming majority of companies are now going to pay that 100,000? Or do you think that they will just let the people that were going to get the H-1B visas stay where they're at?
Of course, they're not going to bring these people in, which is great.
Right,
and
which is
what
why
I'm
I
arguing for.
said that no one will pay the fee, okay? Because
And
I was
yes.
saying, sir, what I was saying is that these companies will no
Oh my
longer
God.
bring people in because the fee is too expensive. So therefore, no one will come here. So therefore, no one will pay the fee. That is what I was saying.
Which is great policy.
Okay, are you on this? Are you here with me now?
Which is great policy.
Hold on,
Yes,
are you
that's
here with me now? Because I didn't realize I had to break down that idea so freaking like elementary for you here. Okay, so when we're talking about workers in the United States, right? And while I do believe that there is mass abuse within the H-1B visa system,
which we both agree with.
Yes, 100%. I completely agree with that. Okay, while we do have some abuse with that, and I think that companies do be held to like higher regulations, especially when it comes to labor
Agreed.
laws, when it comes to H-1B visas. Okay, I also understand the need for H-1B visas, and completely getting rid of them is also a problem. Okay, that skilled labor is also a very important part of our a part of our economy, right? Because
Agreed.
it drives multiple things. Okay, and you can agree with that, right?
Yeah, we need skilled labor.
Yeah, we need skilled workers. We do not have the skilled workers that are necessary in the United States to fulfill all of the
don't agree with
skilled
that.
jobs that we have.
Yeah,
well, we
so
just simply don't. Okay,
and
there's you can agree with that or disagree with that. You can't. So, but if you agree with me,
It's
that's
fine.
totally fine. Okay, so if we're getting rid, okay, of all these H-1B visas because the fee has now become so high, and we do not have the skilled workers in the United States already to replace them, and the skilled workers that we do have don't have as much as experience as the people that we're bringing in. How is it good policy to put the United States system and the United States economy at risk by not having the skilled workers necessary by essentially canceling the H-1B visa program?
Yeah, I'll answer that directly. First,
Sure.
I've already said this. I disagree that we don't have the skilled labor there. For example, if you read, I assume you might read the New York Times. I'm not trying. I jump to conclusions. Whatever. New York Times had an article today specifically about college graduates in computer science and how college graduates in the last 4 years are sitting at a 9.3% unemployment rate. And compared to something like a biology student, right? So the article was kind of a critique on the tech companies saying, why did you push all these kids to learn to code if you weren't going to hire them? But you know, what that really shows us is that there is skilled labor because there is currently a pretty large amount of college-educated computer science students who are now unemployed. So we have the skilled labor.
Yes. So I did read that article, and that's not exactly what it said. It was actually I'm going to explain it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. And I did read the article. You are correct. I did read that New York Times article. I thought it was actually a very well-written article. It was much more of a criticism on the push for certain types of education in the United States, right? So you said you're
100%.
how old? Like 19 or something?
Me, I'm 30.
30. Sorry, the last caller was 19. That's on me.
Yeah.
Okay. So our generation, because I'm 38, right? So I can say our generation, right? We were sold the American dream. We were sold this dream of, hey, you need to get into these type of fields. And when you get into these type of fields, you will be prosperous within these type of fields. Okay. Right. And one of the biggest ones that was actually brought up was computer science, right? I remember that as a child or as a teenager being sold this dream for going to school for computer science, going to school for coding, learning all that. Computers will never go away. It's always safe. It's always a safe job, right? Yeah. And we've been given that, we were sold that dream, and that dream is no longer a reality. Okay. And I completely agree with the New York Times, and it sounds like you agree with the New York Times, that is a problem. But that is one little niche part of H-1B visas. And on top of the fact that a lot of times that we are hiring, hold on. Yep. A lot of times when people are hiring these people on these H-1B visas, okay, they're hiring them into entry-level positions, but they actually hold the skill levels of people that have been doing this job for decades on decades already. And so it's not exactly a friggin' one-for-one trade when you bring in someone who is freshly out of college, okay, and when you're replacing somebody that has decades of experience, okay, and we don't have the experience in here, not to mention the fact that the people that are graduating with those degrees in the United States are usually less educated in those actual fields than people from a lot of other countries, especially places like India, that we actually get those people, those H-1B 100%. Visas from, right? Yeah. So not only do they not have the experience, right, but they don't have the education behind that experience, which is really a critique on our educational system along with the American dream, which is how I read the article. Do you have a huge disagreement with that?
No, so not entirely, and I do think like you're completely right. The article mostly critiqued that idea of like being sold the American dream, and then all of a sudden you spend a lot of money, specifically, a lot of these tech billionaires spend a lot of money to influence how education would happen. You got learn to code programs, and now these kids are sitting there, with their, twiddling their thumbs because those jobs don't exist. So this is kind of like, I'm about to tie this back into why I believe this is actually good policy from the perspective as to why I support, Donald Trump, is because this is what I think, right? While you are right that if I have a company and I can hire an H-1B visa holder who, let's say he's 40 years old, he's been coding in India for the last 20 years, has a lot of job experience and so forth, or I could hire an American graduate fresh out of school, right? Like that's kind of the option here. And if I also get to basically hold this H-1B person hostage by saying, "Ooh, you work a little harder, or I won't renew your papers." It's like a hostage work environment for these H-1B visa people. It's what I believe is that because I'm an American and because my president is American, he has a responsibility to his citizens first and foremost, and therefore he should not be hiring the 40-year-old, and we should not allow companies to hire a 40-year-old engineer from India to come in here and undercut the wages for the entire industry, but also to take a job away from an American kid who who needs to be trained, sure, but they're very bright. If you look at this, and you can just that's fine.
Sir, if they were really bright, we wouldn't have this problem.
So
okay, before we go off on a whole yap session over here, which sound like what we're getting ready to go to, the argument is not whether we should provide jobs for Americans. We 100% should provide jobs for Americans. Donald Trump's policies have directly kicked a lot of people out of work. We have the highest unemployment rate in this country since COVID happened, and we shut down the economy. Okay, we had the first job loss numbers in June since COVID when we shut down the economy. Okay, so Donald Trump is not providing jobs. He's not putting American jobs first. I think that we have the same idea, but you don't realize that Donald Trump's policy doesn't help that. Okay. And I realize that it doesn't help that. And I think that's the difference. Okay. We still need that 40-year-old coder with all that experience. Okay. So we still need it. What we don't need is for them to be able to hire them for an entry-level position and pay them pennies on the dollar. Okay. Yeah, and adding that $100,000 doesn't stop that, okay? It just stops all visas. So instead of us having that 40-year-old coder that is actually contributing to American society, that is helping us within our tech sector, that is helping us build up in the United States, right? Instead of having him, now we don't have him at all. What we needed was him to be able to be put into a position within these companies, okay? To be able to train to be able to train our Americans, right? Those bright young kids that we're talking about, to be able to train them so that down down in the future, we can do that. But getting rid of them doesn't help that. What we needed was a change to our labor laws. What we needed was a change to the H-1B visa program that stopped them from being held hostage, that stopped them from being put in these interlow positions, that stopped them from paying pennies on the dollar. Okay, that's what we didn't need. And I think that we just have a fundamental disagreement on how we get to that part. I think that Donald Trump's policies will hurt American economy, it'll hurt American technology, okay, by getting rid of a lot of experience, right? And therefore, American technology will lag behind, which can also help us hurt us on a national security stance, right? Because again, China doesn't care. They're still freaking building up their technology systems, right? So we need to be able to have that experience in there. What we needed was a change to our labor laws, and I don't think that this affects that whatsoever.
Yeah, and listen, I appreciate the conversation. I should let you go. I need to go soon. I will say that just if you allow me to say, kind of 2 points addressing what you said, and again, I appreciate the conversation. I will say, first off, I believe that in America we have highly educated kids, and we have very intelligent people here, and I think that people in India have very intelligent people there, and I think that people in China have very intelligent people there. But the Chinese, what they do is they do not take in H-1B style visas. What they do is they give their college-educated kids jobs, and then they train them to be there. And that's how we used to do it. So H-1B was introduced in 1990. And you want to know what happened before 1990 in America? Netscape. We literally invented the internet. Like, we weren't struggling before. And I do not like, obviously, like, I'm not trying to make a dig at you. You do not like my views about like the America First movement, and I respect that.
Hold on. Stop. Yep. No, I am America First. That's why I want these policies changed.
And okay, yes, and then well, perfectly fine. I believe in, let's say,
your stance movement, right? Is not America First. You think it's America first, but it's not. Your stance is America fails. Okay. Your stance is get rid of all the experience that makes America great. The things that make us great, okay, are the fact that we take in all of this experience and we get to have this melting pot of the most intelligent minds in the world that are all working for one thing, and that is to build up American technology and build up the American economy, and by ipso facto, building up American national security. By us being the hegemonic nation that we are, is because we build in all of these things. Okay.
And so I would disagree with you because of all of the great breakthroughs of the past century happened in the 60s, and they happened from a very specific group of people, and there were a lot of Germans and a lot of Swedish and English engineers. That's just how it was. What I am saying is that America first to me means people who were born here, people who have heritage here, have oftentimes contributed so much. And it's not like we were lacking before we started bringing in mass immigration for work. We weren't lacking. We were on top of the world. In fact, if you look at it in terms of invention, there's a point to be made about profit maximizing and corporations getting a little too greedy, which is a big driver for mass immigration. But since mass immigration has happened, I know this because I've been in the tech sector for a while, and I am at a large company. The work degrades. Like, you don't see, Apple in 2006 versus Apple now there's nothing similar. So I believe in American excellence and American greatness. And my point is that I do not believe mass immigration helps at all. And in fact, I can look at the evidence. I can look at the time period from 1990 to today, and I can directly say we are shipping worse products.
Yeah. So a couple things. Well, sorry. First of all,
I do have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. The only people that have heritage in the United States are indigenous people. And I don't think that's who you're talking about. And I'm pretty sure if we left this freaking country to the people that actually have heritage in this country, the country would look a lot different. Okay. But there are tons and tons of reasons why why American technology lags behind certain other countries, especially when it comes to China. And mass immigration is not one of them. nor even
Yeah,
what we're talking
I
about
believe it
have
is.
anything to do with mass immigration, because H-1B visas are a very, very small part of the immigration that actually comes to our country. So when it comes to tech jobs, we were talking about a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of
I'm
that
talking
number
specifically about
whatsoever.
40%.
There were a ton of things
But
that happened in the 90s, including the destruction of the middle class, higher taxes on
I agree with that.
corporations, and
Yeah.
allowing
Yeah.
stagnation up at the top, right? But you can go ahead and
Agreed.
go. I can sit here and finish this conversation without you here.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate it. I appreciate your candor for the most part. Hopefully you appreciated my candor for the most part, and you have a great day, my friend.
You too. Yeah, there was a ton of reasons why technology has come through that, again, with labor law changes and all sorts of stuff, right? But this is a ridiculous. People with heritage here is a joke. Okay? People with heritage here is a joke. Okay? When you say that, all I hear is, I want white people to have jobs. And that's all it is. All right. Gummy Lame, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Said, thank you for saving my life. I thought I was alone. Oh, you reach out if you need help. I'm sorry, I actually didn't read that before I put up there. I hope you're doing okay. Really, hope you're doing okay. And if you need something, reach out. Sorry to hear that. Y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're about to move on to the next caller. And we're gonna keep this thing going. Y'all, if y'all would like to support the live, I do have super chats open. So if you'd like to send a message, I like to put those in. In between callers and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you. Also, if you'd like to support, I do have pay links in my bio, Cash App, PayPal, all at Polypolitics. And I'm still looking for pirate masks. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going great. How old are you?
I am 26 now.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Of course I do.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, I was going to talk about something else until the last thing I heard when you said that the other guy just wanted white people to have jobs. That to me was wild.
No, I said that's what I hear.
Oh, okay. You think
Yeah.
that's what
Whenever people like, because he said, I want people with heritage here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
and he
anyone
compared it
that's
to
born and raised here.
he compared that to places like India, right?
Yeah.
People from India, their heritage originates from India.
Mm-hmm.
White people in this country, your heritage did not come from the United States. But whenever I hear heritage, that's what it's talking about for me. That's what I hear.
So, okay, so 4 or 5, 6 generations back is what, yeah.
Yeah, but again, white people came here, committed a genocide, brought in slaves built the country, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now there's this heritage that somehow belongs to you. Like the fact that white people immigrated here somehow doesn't mean anything because now other people immigrating are bad. It's just that's all I hear in my head. I'm sorry, but it just is what it is.
No, I wasn't offended by it. I was just shocked to hear it because, mind you, I haven't listened to you much, and I was listening to you for the past 10 minutes, and I thought it sounded good. But then hearing that, it just threw me off.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry if I threw you off. What's on your mind?
No. I just think that everything else sounded pretty decent, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that that's what he was arguing at all. I think that people that are residents of this country deserve jobs over people that aren't. I think that should be a pretty standard point of view.
Yeah, again, prioritization of jobs is kind of crazy when we're talking about supporting Trump, because he isn't prioritizing jobs for Americans, right? The unemployment rate in this country is the highest it's been since COVID. Manufacturing jobs are flying out of this country.
Foreign labor good for unemployment?
Is bringing in more foreign labor good for unemployment? It can be and can't be. It just depends on how our economy is sitting. I mean, we had a whole bunch of immigrants coming under the Biden administration, and at the same time, we had record low unemployment.
Record low. What do you call it? Job participation? So,
well, I mean, it's worse now.
I mean, I don't disagree.
So,
but I think a reduction in illegal and legal immigration would probably help that, right?
No, it won't, because again, like by the time, like in May's numbers and June's numbers, also I'd have to check. I think July's numbers. I haven't checked August numbers yet. There's just as many open jobs in this country as there are people looking for jobs.
So if we have less immigrants coming in and taking those jobs, the pay would go up?
Probably not. No.
No.
No,
So
because
if
most of the people that are
employers
looking
can't
for
find-
jobs aren't looking for the jobs that most immigrants work. That's the real
Yeah,
big issue.
but if employers can't find employees, then they have to raise their pay, right?
Or they just stop doing business.
That's fair.
Yeah. And again, the problem is that again, especially when we're talking about, more less educated, migrants. We're not talking about like
Right.
H-1B visas like I was talking
No,
to him.
I'm not, yeah,
Right.
no,
Like
totally
we're
agree.
talking
So
about
if-
like
if
agriculture.
companies-
We're talking about agricultural jobs.
Well,
We're talking about construction jobs.
Yeah.
We're talking about these things. And again,
Well-
that actually feeds directly back into the conversation I was just having with that guy, right? Because he was talking about a New York Times article that was discussing this, right? Being sold the American dream, going into computer programming, things like that, right?
Totally
And
agree. But if people have if employers have less option, won't they pay to educate their employees?
I'm sorry, I kind of missed that. Won't they pay to what?
Won't they pay to educate their employees?
You think a construction company is paying to educate their employees?
Yeah.
Oh, like which one's doing that? Maybe there are some. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like industrial companies that don't have engineers that pay for students.
I think that's
go
awesome.
to- yeah.
But at the same time, like I don't think that's the norm.
No, I mean it's pretty normal in like industrial construction for that to happen.
And maybe in industrial. I'm not familiar enough with it. Just industrial construction. I don't know much about that niche part of it.
Yeah, I'm an electrician, so that's there. Maybe giving you my background might help a little bit. I'm an uneducated, as you might say, construction worker.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. I'm saying I'm not familiar with that. I know that there are lots of companies that like to pay for education. The problem is that usually when you pay for that education, most people don't use it.
Right.
And even the people that don't
True.
use it, there's no guarantee that they're even going to stay within that company. And then, of course, if they do stay within that company, that specifically means that they're probably not going to pay that higher of a wage because usually they keep
it's
wages
golden
lower
handcuffs.
for people that they pay college for, right? So there's...
Yeah, it's the golden handcuffs, right? You have to be employed if you want the education. But isn't that better to educate our people here rather than just bring in other people?
Well, yeah, I completely agree that we should be educating our people here. The problem with it is our education system is broken in the United States.
Right. So I think less people should go to college, but that's just me.
Well, unfortunately, we can't have less people go to college and also bring in less people that went to college. That just means our economy will crash.
Well, no, but a lot of the college education we're doing here is poor because we have too many people going, right?
No, it's poor because our system is made for cash and not made for education.
Right. And if the government quit subsidizing it, less people would go.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have anybody to work those jobs,
alone.
and then again, we would have to bring in more people.
Yeah, but we'd have more people going into STEM, which pays more, and less people going into other things that don't pay as much because our loan companies wouldn't loan. Yeah,
but sir, we're again, our STEM programs are broken in this country, right?
Okay.
We rank
How do we
20 something in math and 30 something in science in the United States.
And how do we fix them outside of just bringing other people in?
Well, first we would need to re-regulate our entire education system.
Re-regulate. So government regulation is
Yes.
not the problem.
Correct. Lack of government regulation is the problem.
See, I think it was the opposite. I think it was the fact that the government started doing student loans, which everyone could get a loan from the government, and more people went to college. That's where I think the problem was.
That was
That our
a
government was
problem,
giving the
but not.
All right.
But again, we ranked 30th in high school
Yeah.
in sciences and 20 something in math.
Yeah, and when did we start to go downhill in our high school programs?
There's no
know,
exact
roughly
date
when?
for. There's-
Right. But we know roughly when we started to decline.
Well, no, because there's states right now that are awesome in it. But I mean, I'd put it.
There's some absolutely. There
Yeah,
are some states
Massachusetts
that are doing incredible,
is great.
but yeah, Massachusetts. Yeah, it's a great.
Actually,
great
blue
area
states
for it.
tend to
But,
actually be very good at education. But
yeah, a lot of blue cities that get a lot of city money do for sure. But the time period in which we started to decline, do you know roughly when that was?
when are you saying it was, sir?
It's when the Department of Education was created.
That has been debunked, like very clearly.
Okay,
Yeah,
debunk it for me because I don't know.
yeah. There actually is no correlation between when we had the Department of Education and the decline in test scores in the United States. Actually, most studies show that they are differencing each other between like decades, like 3 decades and stuff.
Right, but you're talking about comparing us to other countries, not comparing us to ourselves, right? So we started to stagnate around that time, and other countries outcompeted us.
No, we started comparing ourselves during that time.
Yes.
Because
And
before we
other
had a Department of
countries started to
Education, we
outcompete
weren't
us.
comparing ourselves to other countries.
Yes, but you're taking two different comparisons, right? The comparison to ourselves is if we got better, or the comparison to other countries.
Sir,
And
do you
that's
know,
about the
sir,
time
how,
that we
how do you
started to
think the
lose other
Department of
countries.
Education drove down our education?
I think that where I'm from in South Carolina needs totally different things than New York.
Totally different things like what?
Like, I think that we're way more manufacturing based. We are way more agricultural based, and teaching those things in schools is better than removing them entirely.
So you think like control of curriculum.
Absolutely.
All right. Control of curriculum already belongs to the states, and the Department of Education has never held it.
In what way?
Each state has
I
their
believe
own
I'm an
curriculum.
educated
They
man.
have their
I'm an
own.
educated man, so-
Each state has their own board of education, okay, which decides their curriculum. Right. I live in Florida.
Right.
Florida decides. Like I live in Florida. I have a high school age child. The Department of Education doesn't decide what she learns. Florida does.
So you're saying, so what does the federal Department of Education do then?
That's a
Just
great
test
question.
scores?
Well, you.
Just.
Oh, good.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was saying you already addressed one of them. They help to back and give things like Pell Grants, and they help regulate predatory loans, and they not very well, but they help to
Yeah, I was about
freaking
to
regulate
say not
predatory
very well.
loans from. Well, I mean, it was worse before they jumped in. To be completely honest with you, when banks were just allowed to give these loans without them being federally insured and without them being federally regulated, it was actually much worse, right? But they do things like Pell Grants, they do things like loan programs in order to help regulate that system. They do like all the disability stuff. So for kids that have disabilities, they ensure that they have the ability to go to school, and they put special money into things like that. They help regulate rural schools that may not have the property taxes in order to have schools, but to make sure they can do it. Yeah, they do stuff like that.
So
But-
they have nothing to do with state curriculum. is what
Correct.
You're saying. Nothing.
Correct.
I don't know for sure, but I highly doubt that.
Yeah. Again, the curriculum is based off of your state. Okay. I mean that's it's an easy Google search, man. I'm not
I don't
like
know
fucking
enough-
with you.
I don't know enough to argue it, but yeah, I don't know enough to argue it.
Yeah, because this is this idea. This is this idea.
To back that up.
Yeah, this is the idea that people keep trying to push. This is why Donald Trump's getting rid of the Department of Education. People are like, oh, we need to get rid of the Department of Education. It's so bad. It's not bad. Okay. It actually does really good stuff. And it's actually one of the most efficient parts of our government. And it has direct benefit direct benefit for people in our country.
Well, everything that you listed, I think that money should just go to the states, and we would decide how we did it with our education rather than having a federal department.
Well, the problem with that is when we do that now, like even right now we have curriculum, and a lot of the money that actually pays for schools is actually already in the states, right? Like schools are paid for by property taxes, which is collected by the state.
Yeah, which I hate.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
absolutely
But
hate.
again, we're already seeing that money and how it's being used. And the problem with that is when we send it down to the states, the priorities of states are way different, and it tends to be that more rural, more red states tend to very much not prioritize education. Okay. And that is why the average across the United States, the reading level is like 5th grade level. All right. This is why, again, like I was talking about last call, why we have to have people like H-1B visas and other people in for like research and development and stuff like that, because our education system is failing so bad. Right. Especially in red states and rural states.
I do think a lot of employers do step in when it comes to education. That's just how, I'm an electrician. I've worked for 5 or 6 different companies, and every single one of them pays for schooling. Every single one of them.
Yeah, that's awesome, sir. But if the kids haven't had a good enough high school education to make it into college, it doesn't matter.
There's more than state, than like you have your general tech schools and other stuff like that. Like it's
and I think that we should have a higher prioritization on trade schools. Okay, I think that's great. But getting rid of the Department of Education doesn't help that. States could do that right now if they wanted to, and they don't.
Fair. Hey, fair. No, one of the main reasons I did want to call in, because mind you, we did go down the H-1B stuff, but your views on the illegal immigration. Do you think that the way we had under Biden is better than we have it today?
No, But that's just because Biden was blocked on making our immigration system better.
In what way?
Well, he had 5 different immigration bills that he put up at Congress. They were all blocked by
Right,
Republicans, except for the one
Well,
that was
all the
actually
ones-
hold on.
Yeah, but
there was
everything he said that he was going to do in those bills, Trump did without the bills.
no, he did it with the bills. It's in the big beautiful bill. He didn't do a single piece of it until the big beautiful bill was passed.
Okay, so you're saying immigration didn't stop until after the big beautiful bill?
Didn't stop? No. That's crazy talk.
Illegal immigration didn't stop before this.
No.
It didn't.
No.
So it was the exact same rate as it was before that.
The exact same rate
That
of people
the
we
exact same
didn't
rate of
catch.
illegal
I
immigration.
assume it was probably close.
It was not even by a long. I'll pull up the statistic there. I know for a fact that's not.
Well, you don't know for a fact because nobody knows for a fact.
It's insane.
You're saying a number that's
Stoppages at the
you're
border.
sir, you're saying a number that nobody knows for sure, so you can't know it as
I
a
haven't
fact.
said
That's
the number.
impossible. Sir, what Donald Trump
Yeah,
did
that's-
was he stopped legal immigration at ports of entry, like asylum seeking. Okay, so therefore border encounters stopped at the southern border. Border encounters do not equal illegal entry.
If we're not counting every single person that comes through, it's a good metric.
What?
If we are not counting every single person that comes through, encounters at the border is a good metric.
Sir, what's in a border encounter?
A
You know-
border encounter is patrol finding and meeting someone at the border, whether they're crossing illegally or legally.
Correct.
Or not.
Okay, correct. So, under the Biden administration, let's just say we had 20,000 border protection agents. Okay? And those 20,000 were encountering a whole bunch of people. Okay?
Sure.
A lot of them were illegally here. A lot of them were legally here. A lot of them were trying to seek asylum, and their asylum claim was either granted or not
they're
granted.
seeking asylum.
Sir, there was
asylum. We
a whole
both
bunch of
know
people that
that's
sought
not-
asylum in the United States.
We both
But-
know that they just crossed the border and they. Come on, you
Sir,
really think
I was
that every single
explaining
one of those
something.
people
I was
is-
explaining something. If you
Sorry,
want to talk about
sorry,
asylum
sorry.
afterwards, that's fine.
No,
But
I'm
you
sorry,
obviously
I'm
don't
sorry,
understand
I'm
what
sorry,
happened
go
with
ahead, sorry.
asylum. Okay. But anyways, regardless of any of that, okay, if you have 20,000 people and they're trying to catch as many people as they can, whether they're coming in illegally, coming in at ports of entry, okay, and they're trying to catch all they can, but they're just doing the best they can, and they're having as many encounters as they can. But there's still some people that are getting around them, right? Because those are the people that we're having the issue with, right? The people that are getting around the Border Patrol, because Border Patrol was stopping everyone they could stop under the Biden administration, and they're stopping the same amount of people the day Trump took office too, right? They're doing their best. All right. Now, if Donald Trump doesn't add any more money to the Border Patrol, doesn't add any more border protection, doesn't add any more technology to the Border Patrol, how are they stopping more people?
using existing laws that Biden was not enforcing.
Sir, Biden was enforcing it. Biden deported
He was?
685,000 people at the southern border in 2024, okay? 60% of the people that sought asylum at the southern border were immediately deported without even getting a hearing or anything.
Right. And how many of them got through?
Of the undocumented people?
I mean, you can
Or
say
of asylum
seek
seekers? I
illegal-
believe the number for asylum seekers is somewhere around 2.6 million.
Right. And how many in the first 3 months before the big beautiful bill came in through Trump?
Asylum seekers? 0, because Donald Trump stopped asylum seeking.
Right.
That's not a
Using
good thing,
existing
sir. That's
laws.
just stopping legal migration.
It's not legal migration.
It is legal migration.
It isn't. They're crossing through multiple countries to seek asylum.
There's
in our
nothing
country.
that makes
That's
there's nothing that makes that illegal. 8 U.S. Code
The
1158
the
guides
broadening-
asylum.
well,
Sir, 8
If
U.S.
you-
Code
if you think
1158
that-
guides
if you think
asylum.
that we should have
It's
if you think
insane.
we should have as broad as we've had in asylum seeking, but I'll tell you, working.
I
construction-
don't believe that.
Well, so you think we should
I
have
believe
more
that we should have
than-
stricter asylum laws.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
Biden tried
we
to
agree
pass
there.
for stricter asylum laws 5 different times in his term. Again, one that was written by Republicans, and Republicans still blocked it because Donald Trump told them to.
It limited it up to a certain amount and allowed the rest through.
Incorrect.
Yes, it did.
No, it did
Come
not.
on. You don't believe that?
Sir, it's not I believe it. I read the bill. Did you?
Yes.
Well, then you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Sir, I can explain to you exactly what the bill said, because you're obviously lying if
Go
you're
ahead,
saying
please.
that it allowed a certain amount of people and then just let the rest through, because you obviously didn't read it. I don't know why you're lying to me.
It had a limitation up to a certain amount and allowed less restrictions on the remainder.
Incorrect. Okay. What it did was at 4,000
Correct.
people average, 4,000 encounters average at the southern border over a week, it would have given a voluntary shutdown at the border. Okay. Where they had the ability to shut down the border. At 5,000 encounters on average over the week, it would have had a mandatory border shutdown that where nobody got in. Legal, illegal, no one. Automatically put a wall up, shut down the border. And if at any point in time they had 10,000 encounters in a day, automatic border shutdown. And because of those things,
So
the
question,
day,
how would we get
hold
between
on,
5
sir,
and
hold
10,000
on,
if
sir.
those are
Because of that,
mandatory shipping?
sir, because of that, the day that the bill was signed, it would have shut the border down completely. The numbers were already higher than the bill allowed, so therefore it would have shut down the border immediately.
Yeah, I've never read that.
I know, which is why I don't know why you lied to me and said you did.
I didn't. I told you that I'd read the bill, and yeah.
Yeah, the
fair
bill
enough.
would have shut down the border
If that's
that
what
day.
it says, I disagree. That's what I've read, but if that's what you read, then I'll believe you. I mean,
Okay, well that's what it says. Okay.
yeah. So you support that?
Do I support stricter asylum seeking? Do I support like stricter border laws? Of course I do.
Okay. Do you have a limit in which you think that people should be allowed in?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I've never heard that much from someone on that side. I appreciate that.
Sir,
So
Biden
what
had
do you think Trump's doing that's wrong?
Biden had 5 different immigration bills that did that during his term.
Yeah.
Like I don't really
Well, he
truthfully
could've used
like
existing laws. My only
Sir.
thing was he could have just used existing laws. to
Like
slow it
what?
down and stop it. The same ones Trump used in the first 3 months of his term. Are you saying
he didn't use existing laws, sir. He just stopped legal migration. Okay? The president has the ability through executive action to just shut down border entry. Okay? They have the ability to do that. And if you ask me my
So
opinion,
that's what-
should
and he
Biden have done that earlier? Yes, I believe that he should. He actually did do it. Okay? But he was trying to get that border bill passed because that border bill wouldn't have just shut down immigration. It would have fundamentally changed the way that we have immigration in this country. And that's truly what we need. Okay? We need more border protection. Like we need more border patrol agents. We need more money for border patrol, right? We need more judges. We need more staff. We need all of those things. We need more technology.
We need it to completely stop.
Sir, what we need is true immigration reform, not 50-year-old immigration reform.
And
Okay?
What would you put if you were? Let's just say you were president today. What immigration reform would you put in place?
Exactly what I just said.
The same bill that Biden would have put in place.
Well, I mean, let's just make sure we be very clear about that. The bill that was written by Senator Lankford, a Republican, the 4th most conservative senator in the Senate, and a huge Trump supporter, the one that he wrote, that yes, was also supported by Biden.
So that's what you would have put in place.
I think it was actually a pretty decently strong bill, especially for what was going on. I mean, it had some negatives to it. I think I think we need to make sure that we cover things like DACA and Dreamers, but I wish I had more coverage in there for that.
I think we need to slow it down a lot more. I think the way we have it right now is pretty good. People,
sir, it would have shut down the border that day. I don't know how, sir. That's the part I don't understand, sir. The day the bill was signed, the border would you know how you're like, oh, there's no legal migrants coming in right now. You think that that's a good thing? That would have happened in 2023 had Donald Trump not stopped the bill. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, you're saying that you like this situation where we have no legal migration, like all this sort of stuff. The only difference between
I don't like no legal migration. I like,
but that's what Donald Trump is doing, right? He's shutting off legal migration, right? So what I'm saying is, you could have had all of that, okay, in 2023, along with more judges to process those asylum seekers, so they would have went from being here 5 years to less than 6 months, to having more border patrol agents to actually patrol the border in order to make sure that less people snuck around the border patrol. Hell, it had money for the fucking wall in there. I don't even like the wall, but the money was in there, right? All of that could have happened in 2023, and we could have had what we have right now, except for way better. Okay, because again, more border patrol agents, more money towards it, more judges, all of that stuff. We could have had it in 2023, but Donald Trump called the Senate and told them not to pass the bill. That way he could run against Joe Biden on immigration.
Yeah, well, what I'm reading is that it speeded up asylum seeking process. I'm going through it.
It
Mind you,
did.
the whole time we're speaking, I'm going through it. That's one of the big things it did. It increased the amount of people that were processing asylum seekers, which I don't think is a real thing. I think
Sir, hold on. Do you
99%
understand what you're
are
saying
taking
right now?
the system.
Do you understand what you're
Right.
saying right now?
What?
Sir, you you just read something that I promise you 1,000% you actually agree with. Okay? And you don't realize it. Okay?
Nope.
What I want you
Explain
to
what.
I want you to read again what it says that it does.
I gotta find it. The general idea was that it speeds up the asylum seeking process.
Correct. So, do you believe that people that seek asylum in this country should be here 5, 6, 7 years before they get an asylum court date?
No, I think that they should be out of the country until it gets processed.
Okay. Well, what this process would have done was actually speed that up to go from 5, 6, 7 months or 7 years
And the
to
people that come
6
into the
months.
country-
Sir, hold on. To 6 months, which means that the over 80% of asylum claims that go to court and are found that they don't have a valid asylum claim, they would have been removed from the country in 6 months instead of 6 years. Tell me how that's not a good
and
thing.
My question is, how many of those people show back up to their court dates?
Oh, over 90%.
I don't know the number. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, with
Like,
a
I'm
lawyer,
just-
it's like 96% or something, which the majority have lawyers. I think without a lawyer, it's like
96% of
80,
people that
88 or 87.
claim asylum show back up to their court dates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I work with a lot of guys who have not.
Well, sir, I'm sorry, but I highly doubt you know the exact immigration status of everyone you work with.
No, I'm not uncertain.
Sir, they could be here illegally completely. They could have come here on a work visa or a tourist visa and then overstayed their visa. And they could have come here on asylum. There's 1,000 different ways that people could have come here.
Well,
Okay,
I just
and
want
that
you
they
to know,
could
mind
be
you,
here
I love all-
illegally.
I also want you to know I love all the guys I work with. I have nothing.
Sir, I
against
don't.
the
That's
guys I
not.
work
That's
with.
not. That's not a.
Yeah.
That's, I'm
No,
not talking
but
about
the way I
whether you
said it-
like
the
them
way-
or
I
not.
just want you to-
What
the
I'm
way I
saying
said it
is, sir,
sounded-
there is a
yeah.
ton of ways that people could be here and also have court dates that is not asylum. You know, you can be here illegally and also get a court date, right?
Yeah. Where's the stat on 96% show up to their court date? I doubt that.
With a lawyer? Oh, I can pull that up. That's easy. Why, sir? Why would they not?
Because they're not here indefinitely. They're here for 5 or 6 years and go home.
No, sir. They're here for 5 or 6 years and then they're kicked out by the courts.
No, brother, they go home.
No, sir. They are kicked out. They are forcibly
They're not-
removed and deported by the United States government.
Wait. Well, you think that most of the people that are coming here over the border plan on staying here?
I didn't
long
tell you
term?
most people that come over the border. I said asylum seekers.
Yeah, most of them have families back home that they're just sending money to.
No, asylum seekers
They're
tend
not
to bring their
planned.
families with them.
Oh.
Because again, they're coming here legally.
Yeah. Vaguely legally, but
Nope,
Sure.
not vaguely legally. 8 U.S. Code 1158 is very legal. It is U.S. Code,
right, but they're crossing through multiple countries to come at our
which
border,
again is
which-
legal.
Yeah, but they're crossing through multiple countries that also
Which
would take
again is
asylum, but-
legal.
So they're also flying from other countries in the. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it is legal. You can cross through 1,000 countries if you want. Doesn't matter. You can cross through. You can just do circles in South America before you show here. Doesn't matter. It's still legal.
Yeah, they're all flying here from China and the Middle East, going through Mexico just to come claim asylum at our southern border.
That is a very, very, very small percentage of people that are doing that.
What percentage do you think that is?
Of Chinese people, like
don't know.
1% of 1% of asylum seekers or something. Like a negligible,
You think
freaking
it's
ridiculously small.
0.01%?
Huh?
You think you said 0.01%?
I don't know. Negligible, sir. It's very small. Sir, I think it's a crazy thought, okay? China,
Yeah.
okay? What most analysts, military analysts, people, okay, would consider the closest country to the United States, right? On a military, on a technology, on an intelligence standpoint, right? Thinks that country can't figure out how to get people in the United States and needs to sneak them through the southern border and have them seek asylum.
Oh,
What?
It's not their military doing it.
First of all, sir, if people were in China and had a real reason to seek asylum, like for like political persecution or something like that, they could have just applied and then flown over.
Yeah. But a lot of the ones coming through the southern border are being taken advantage for their labor.
Yeah, and that's really horrible. We should go after those companies that are freaking abusing them.
Border.
Yeah, we should go after companies that are abusing
them through the southern border.
Or we could go after the
taking advantage.
So, sir, what you're saying is we need to prosecute the people being abused and not worry about the people doing the abusing?
No, I said we just quit letting them over. We should absolutely prosecute.
Sir, we can't quit letting them over. They're here.
Right. We send them back home, and people quit taking advantage of
their
labor.
Sir, do you understand the time and money it would cost to deport 14 million people?
A lot less than they're costing us.
Incorrect. Last year alone, freaking undocumented immigrants paid almost $100 billion in state, local, and federal taxes, and only took about 30-something billion of that for out of federal taxes. They put in 22 billion into Social Security. Huh?
What would it cost to deport all 14 million? Well,
I don't know. What's the average cost for deporting a migrant is what, $14,000?
Okay.
$14,000 to $16,000. So let's see. I don't have a calculator in front of me. Let's see. Where's my phone?
It would pay for itself in 4 or 5 years.
Sir, I'm sorry. Maybe you didn't hear me. We paid out of the federal government $34 billion. They put in $100 billion.
Yeah.
They paid us almost $70 billion.
In income taxes?
In all income taxes, sales taxes, all the taxes, state taxes, local taxes, all the taxes, $22 billion in 2022 just into Social Security from undocumented migrants. So not only are we paying to deport them, but we're losing the tax money from them.
You're telling me we can calculate the total amount of taxes gained through illegal immigrants, but we can't calculate how many were coming across the border?
Yeah, we could project it, and we can get really close.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, and we do. And I said there's just over 14 million undocumented immigrants in the country.
But you're giving me an exact number on how much we're taking in taxes to them, but we don't know how many.
I'm sorry.
We don't know how many we're crossing.
Sir, again, taxes are kept a lot closer than people that are sneaking around a border. You do realize immigrants pay taxes, right?
No, yeah, well, some.
Even undocumented immigrants pay taxes.
Yeah, but even the undocumented ones pay taxes indirectly because if they're untaxed, the taxes go.
No, even directly. Donald Trump specifically tasked ICE with going to the IRS to go use the IRS to track down undocumented migrants.
And you're against that.
It's not a matter of being against or for. I mean, me personally, yes, if you're working here, contributing to our economy and paying taxes, and you've been here for a certain amount of time without breaking any laws, then yes, I want you here to help keep our economy going.
If we do some quick, easy math, you can hold me to all my numbers here. But based on the average construction worker salary in Mexico, and based on the average construction salary that they're getting paid, illegal immigrants being paid here. If you do the conversion and their pay difference, if you were paying them in Mexico, they'd be making about $400,000 a year when they move here. That's about in pesos. So all the money they're sending back, that's why they're being incentivized to come here. You don't think we should shut that down and put
the U.S. sends money, way more money than any of that to multiple countries across the world.
And we should stop that, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not stopping that.
Right.
Sir, I'm saying, like,
sneak into Canada and make $500,000 a year out of it.
What I'm saying is, we send billions with a B, trillions probably, actually, over the course of all of them. We send tens and hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries. You think I'm worried about the small amount that undocumented immigrants are sending over?
I think we should stop all of it, yeah. I think we should be focused here.
Sir, I'm sorry. That is not hurting our economy and not hurting our United States whatsoever by them coming here, working, contributing. Sir, hold on. But they're coming here. They're working. They're contributing to our workforce and they're paying taxes. What they do with that money, why do I care?
Yeah, but they're not adhering to our culture as well. Like that's another big
what
problem.
Culture?
What do you mean? Are you one of those people that thinks that America doesn't have a culture?
Of course, America has a culture. Our culture is immigrants.
No.
Immigration is our culture.
For 200 years, people have come here and assimilated to our culture.
No, it's over 200 years, people have come here and changed the culture.
Yeah, in small amounts.
Correct, in small amounts, just the way that they're
back.
coming here and
They're not
changing
coming
things in small amounts.
At least
Yeah.
under Biden, they weren't coming.
Hold
in
on, you're
small
saying the
amounts.
people come here in small amounts? Have you heard of freaking dude, the Irish or the Polish or the Italians?
Yeah.
They literally came here in mass. What are you talking about?
And they're all totally integrated.
Now they are. They weren't then.
Right, but do you know how many people I work with that will not learn a word of English because they do not care?
Sir,
and
our
they're sending their
language
money
has
home?
changed by people coming. What are you talking? Even the English language has been altered over time by immigrants. There is a reason why we don't sound like the British. There is a reason why there are tons of
that
words.
Didn't happen last year.
Sir, no, sir, it happens over time. You are thinking very
Yeah.
short term into a very
Insane.
long term
I
thing.
actually think you're thinking short term in the amount of people coming here and using jobs and increasing our labor amounts. I think that you're thinking of
Increasing
short-term.
our labor amounts, that's
We're-
not even like a correct sentence on what we're talking about, sir.
I told you,
What I am understanding is the reason why
the amount of people that are
Sir,
doing our
the reason why we
our
have
small
spaghetti
labor.
and meatballs in this country is because the Italians came over and changed our culture and mixed it with their culture. The reason I can say capiche in this freaking country and everybody understands what I'm saying is because the
Yeah, and I'm
Italians came
okay-
over
and I'm
here
okay
and
if we eat
changed
tacos
our
every
culture.
Tuesday, but I'm not
Okay.
okay if we're speaking Spanish.
What, sir? We didn't. When the Irish came here and integrated their language into the English language, we didn't start speaking Italian. Okay, the English language changed.
And what percentage of the American population at the time compared to the amount of people that we took in from
Sir,
the
why
Irish
are you
at the
so
time?
afraid of brown people, bro?
I'm not afraid.
That's all this is, dude. I'm sorry. And
No.
literally at this point, this is starting to just sound like I'm super scared of brown people.
You can't just call me racist.
I didn't.
Like, what
sir,
the
well,
hell?
I didn't say racist. You said racist. I didn't say
I'm
racist.
afraid of brown people.
Sir, when I bring up the Italians coming over here and changing our culture, you don't blink. If I say the Polish did it, you don't
Yeah, they
stutter.
weren't coming
If
over
I
then.
say if I say the Italians did it or the Irish did it or whoever did it, if I say any of those people, you don't blink for a second. The second what you do is you go straight back to, oh, why are they speaking Spanish? Well, dude, you do realize we were speaking Spanish in this country for a long time, right? Like California, New Mexico, Arizona, they were part of Mexico. Okay? They spoke Spanish. We moved the US border around Spanish. Spanish didn't infiltrate here. The United States infiltrated the Spanish-speaking country.
Yeah. Well, I just want you to know, like, just saying that I hate brown people because I don't want.
I didn't
illegal
say you
immigration,
hate brown people. You're
that's what you
saying
just
that
said.
now.
You just said that.
No, I did not.
What did you say word for word?
Sir, I'm sorry, but I think you're starting to project a little bit.
What do you just said?
I think
the
you're
fact that I
starting to
dislike
project a
brown
little
people.
bit
What are you
because I
talking
didn't
about?
say you were racist,
I've
but
been
yet
so-
you
dude,
brought
I've
up saying
been
I was
so
saying that I
respectful.
said that.
I've been so
And then
respectful.
sir, you're making up things that I'm saying. It's sounding projecting. I never once called you racist, and then you said that I called you racist. Okay?
You just
Then-
said it
then-
sounds like that I hate brown people.
No, I said it sounds like you're scared of brown people.
Oh, scared of. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but again, you projected that you hate brown people. I don't know what to say about that, but I never said that.
I've been like so respectful in this whole conversation, and then the immediate turn is oh, you're just racist. Don't tell me that's not what you were saying.
That's not what I was saying, sir. But again, if that's what you're hearing, this kind of seems like a if the shoe fits type of situation.
Right.
Okay? Because
scared
I
about-
said that every single time I brought up a white culture that has come in here and infiltrated, you haven't
That's
blinked.
and if it was
Okay.
the same thing, I wouldn't want them now.
Okay, but as soon as a brown culture does it, you seem to be very scared. You keep going, oh, they're gonna come in and bring their Spanish. That is a scared rhetoric.
Dude,
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
It's not
It sounds
scared
scared. You're the one who brought up racism. You're the one who brought up hating brown people.
No, we have a
I didn't
culture
say
here that
any of
says
that stuff, sir.
productive.
But I will say is if you're thinking that, then if the shoe fits, dude.
Yeah, fair enough. You can call me racist. That's fine.
Again, I haven't done that. You've just done it to yourself.
Okay. Well, what would you say if we were just having a conversation about all this stuff and we were talking about legal immigration, and then I said, well, you're just scared of white people. That's why you want them here.
I would probably
Would that
ask you
not
why you think
sound-
that I'm afraid of white people. What did I say to make you think that?
Because you just want everyone here except for us, right? You want everyone here. You don't want any Europeans immigrating here. You just want
But I never made that claim.
South Americans and Mexicans moving here, right?
But I never made that claim. That'd be pretty crazy
you
since
just
I am
talked about how the
literally
fact that
half
Europeans
white
moved here-
and half Irish immigrant. So that'd be really weird.
Well, I think I just fell into your trap about just
It's
getting upset
insane.
about.
Sir, I didn't trap you. You kind of just dug your own hole, jumped in it, and then blamed me for digging it.
I mean, it's so fun. Yeah, to me, it's just funny
You
that
literally
you're
just
blaming all
kind of
of
like
it.
dug your own hole, jumped in it, started covering yourself up, and you're like, Paulie, why are you doing this to me? Like, I didn't do anything, bro. I literally,
Yeah,
the
but
retorik that you were
I mean,
saying
just calling
sounded
me
scared.
racist
That's
'cause I
all it
don't want
was.
illegal
Okay.
immigration,
That's
just
all it was.
Wild.
What's up?
I still am shocked at the fact that you don't think that was just calling me racist.
Okay. Well, sir, I will let you know. Okay. I'm a very honest and straightforward person. Okay.
Oh.
If I thought you were racist, I would just
It
fucking
doesn't
call you
sound like it,
racist. Okay. I don't need to like hide. Like, I don't need to like I've called people racist on this live. I've done it many times.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I don't need to
Hey,
hide that. I'll just call you fucking racist if you're being racist. I have zero issue doing that.
Okay.
All right. Zero issue. I didn't think
Am
you
I?
had said anything racist. In fact, if it was anything, you would have technically been xenophobic, but I didn't even believe you were being xenophobic.
Xenophobic.
Okay.
Mm.
Because what
I
you were
think I'm
saying would be xenophobic, not racist. Okay. So I wouldn't even put it that way. What I did say was, okay, your rhetoric sounded scared. Okay. And your rhetoric does sound scared. Okay. Your rhetoric sounds like they're coming in. It sounds like the South Park. They're coming in. They're taking our jobs. Right. Like that's what it sounds like. It sounds like all of these people are coming over here and they're bringing, tahine and elote and carne asada. And I'm not going to be able to I'm not going to be able to take anymore.
Oh, dude, I've been practicing Spanish for 3.5 years. I love the Spanish culture. I don't give a shit if we have, but my problem is the fact that our entire construction culture is Spanish. We don't have any white guys out there.
Yeah, but see, sir,
is malo, pero practico cada día. Like I don't
sir.
Like,
again,
I practice Spanish with my Mexican friends all the time. And
all right,
you're telling me
well,
I'm afraid.
this is called tokenizing, and we're not going to go into that. Okay, but regardless, sir, what I'm saying is we have had immigration from multiple countries throughout our entire existence. Our existence as a United States country, okay, as a country, as this failed experiment that we call the United States, okay, it has been built off the incoming
experiment. What are you talking about? Failed experiment,
sir. Please don't try to. It's fine. What I'm saying is we have built off the stacking of immigration, okay, and culture and ideas and language, stacking on top of stacking on top of stacking to where we got here to where we're at right now. The United States that we believe in, okay, the United States that we believe in right now.
I think we believe in it different ways.
Is built on the stacking of culture, okay? So saying, oh no, another culture is coming in does not scare me. Okay, it doesn't scare me at all because guess what? In 50 years from now, it'll be a totally different culture that is coming in and immigrating to the United States, and they will stack on top of that, and we'll just move, and we'll move, and we'll move, and we'll move, and we'll move, and that's it.
But the Italians that moved here, what did they do? They immediately learned English, and they taught their children English, and they didn't want them to speak Italian.
Incorrect. There was entire freaking sectors of the United States.
I have so many second-generation friends from Cuba and the Dominican Republic that speak no Spanish because their parents told them they didn't want them to speak
That's
Spanish.
fine, but that's not what you said. You said the Italians, and there was entire sectors, especially in the Northeast, where they only spoke Italian. Literally, huge immigration places of the United States that only spoke Italian for generations, and then their kids come here, and they knew Italian and they learned English, and then sooner or later the Italian fell off. Okay, exactly.
And I
And
don't
that
think they should've
same
done
thing
that.
is happening in Latino culture right now. People are coming over, they're bringing their kids are speaking Spanish at home and speaking English in their schools, and then eventually as that goes on, the Spanish starts to fade,
But the
and it
rates are
moves
so
in and
much
it
higher.
integrates just like the Italians did.
All right. Well, we've been on the phone for
43 minutes.
Yeah, damn. The one thing I'm going to end you on, because I do have work in the morning, is that you think that the rates in which we had immigration for our entire history of our country is the same as we've had it in the past 10 years.
No.
It's been higher in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Neither? Both?
So okay. Well, my argument, my whole thing is that I think that we have, at least up until about, I don't know, 70s, 80s, have maintained a pretty cohesive culture in our United States. And just allowing anyone that wants to come in is not good for the culture that we have put in place. I think
We have
we've
not
very
had a cohesive
successful-
culture.
Is that okay? If
They're
you wanna-
used, sir. First of all,
60s, we-
black people make up a whole
Go ahead.
freaking group of the people that were forced immigrating in this country. And about the time you were talking about, we were just ending Jim Crow. That is about as far away from a cohesive culture as could possibly exist, right? Gunning down black people in Black Wall Street is far from a cohesive culture.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
All right. Well, you have a good day. All
I
right.
appreciate your time, man, and I do appreciate the conversation. I'm glad to hear anyone have an open conversation, and I do love you, brother.
All right. Well, you have a good one, man. Bye. That was a long conversation. I actually thought, I don't know. I actually had fun in that conversation, though. So sorry if it bored you guys, but I enjoyed it. We're going to hit a couple super chats real quick, and we're going to go into the next caller. Y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. If you would like to support the live, I do have super chats open. I also have my pay links in my bio. I Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all at Polypolitics. And also, I've hit one pirate mask. That's kind of sad. Mitch, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Crucible said, good job. You're well informed. Oh, the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Said, good job. You're well informed. I appreciate that you take the time to educate the ignorant, or at least you're trying. Thank you so much, Crucible. I really, really appreciate that. Taurus, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Big W's in chat for the 5 gifted from Taurus, and an extra W in there if you got one of those from Taurus. 100%. Thank you so much, Taurus. That's always so sweet of you to do that. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Beanski says, yo, can I call you? Yes. And the $5 super says, let me call. Okay, you now have permission to call as soon as I open up the phone lines, which I haven't done yet. But you do have permission. This one time. Thank you so much for the $5. A grain of rice. Do you watch Majority Report and or Secular Talk? I don't. I've heard such good things about Majority Report. I really need to start watching it. I really do. I've heard really good stuff, so I'll have to check that out soon. Thank you so much. No, Ma said, thank you for doing what you're doing. Listening to this caller for 3 minutes was too much. Well, I did it for 43 minutes, so, I think you can hold in for 3. I think you can make it. Lovely Goddess, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said I don't have any evidence on my claim, but I know you're wrong. That's a lot of the ones that I get. Thank you so much, Lovely Goddess. Don, thank you so much for the $2 super chat and all the jewels. I've seen all those jewels. Thank you so much. Rob said, I'll say it. It's racist. I'll say it. I ain't scared. I'll say it. Thank you so much, Rob. Feisty, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Big W's in chat for Feisty for the 5 gifted and an extra special one. If you received one of those from Feisty, thank you so much. And Chopper, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Says thanks for everything that you do. Big W's in chat for Chopper for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate that. And Rob said that person never traveled. Go to 3 states over. It's like a whole new country. Thank you so much, Rob, for that $5 super chat. Y'all, give me 1 second and I'll bring up the next caller.
Insane.
All right, sorry about that. Just needed a quick second. That call went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and all that sort of stuff. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you? Hello? All right, goodbye. Hello, how are you? All right, well, that's the second time you've done that. Hello? All right. Well, let me block that person. Hello, how are you?
Yo, let's go, bro.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What year were you born?
Hold up a second. I need to fix my phone.
All right. Well, I don't believe
It's
it.
insane.
I feel like you were trying to calculate that in your head. Hello?
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I love your show. I just wanted to bring up a couple of things real fast, and then I'm going to get right off because I know you want Trump supporters. One thing I don't like about what some of the things are discussed about illegal immigrants is that they'll do jobs other people don't want to do. They offer a lot more too, as well. It's just they don't have the same opportunities. And then the second thing is you sometimes say "okay," and I think of Mr. Mackey from South Park for some reason.
I've been told that a few times. That's all right. No, immigrants have a whole lot to offer, and that's why I said in the prior conversation we talked specifically about immigrants in technology and high paying jobs. So, we have both sides. That one was more on one thing because that he was specifically a construction worker that worked or an electrician that worked in construction, stuff like that. So that's why we talked about that specific thing. But thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate that. I am going to move on to the next caller, but I hope you have a good one. Right?
You too.
Thanks a lot. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, man. I'm moving on to the next caller. Sorry, I'm only looking for Trump supporters right now. I really appreciate you. Dagger, thank you so much to the $20 over on Venmo. Said, I think people forget that racism isn't the only ism, and thank you for correctly calling that dipshit xenophobic. I appreciate what you do as always. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that that over there. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dagger. Hello, how are you? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Let's see. Am I on live, or are you just checking to see here?
No, you're on live. How old are you?
Oh, hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting the time
Thank you
delay.
so much
I'm
for the
sorry.
Pirates. Yeah, don't watch the live. You're just gonna have to be on the phone.
Okay, I'm sorry. Listen, this is my first time running across your platform, and I want to congratulate you and actually affirm you on your vast knowledge, and it proves your conversation with the last caller simply proves that years and years of conditioning by Fox News, and of course by right-wing radio, and of course by propagandist material and conversations really prove that when challenged even with facts, it does not change or matter to them. So we're actually dealing with a fact-less, alternative fact a situation when we try to debate. I stopped doing political commentary here in the city where I live back in 2016 because I could see where this was going. I appreciate how you handled the situation, especially when it came to the issue of immigration. To understand, he was making blatantly false statements because there were full generations of Italians, second generations, who literally did not speak English, and how they added into the culture. So consequently, do you want to take all of your Italian restaurants, your Mexican restaurants, your Chinese restaurants, and see what happens to your economy? So please, when they make things and say things such as they don't add to culture, they're simply misguided. I am a man who's an educator, terminal degree, and the like, and I don't get a chance to speak to intelligent persons as often as I would like. but I appreciate your platform.
I really appreciate that. I also don't get to, but I am going to have to move on to the next caller because, like I said, I am looking for Trump supporters right now. But I do appreciate you coming up, and I hope you have a wonderful day, all right? All right, thank you. Skip, thank you so much for the $1 over on Cash App. Said, grab Jerry on TikTok. He's got a lot of opinions. Well, that sounds like the last person I want to talk to right now. I don't know why I do that. Thank you so much, Skip, for the $1 Cash App. I appreciate that. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? How about yourself?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no problem. How old are you?
I am 36.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
No, I don't.
All right, sorry. I am going to keep moving on, y'all. Please only be calling in if you support Trump. I know everybody wants to call in right now after that last call, but I really am trying to get this thing moving to the next Trump supporter so we can keep some good conversation going. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
35.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
So I'm kind of curious, primarily to, and again, I'm new to your show, but I'm assuming by the question that that you would be a Democrat or a more liberal supporter.
Sure. Yeah.
That being said, my question would be, why would you support, say, a Kamala Harris type candidate over Trump?
Because she actually had policies that have helped and would have helped the United States. And do I know how good of a president she would have been? I have no idea. But Donald Trump was already a proven bad president from his first term, and his policies going into this term were already bad before when he even stated them, and now they're showing to be that on top of that. So why would I not support somebody that supports good policies, has good policy opinions, versus somebody who doesn't?
And what particular policies would you favor with Kamala against Trump, or what policies does Trump favor or has done that you would say is hurting America?
Yeah, sure. His tariff policy is very bad for us economically. It's putting us at a higher unemployment rate and raising inflation and causing job loss, including the loss of manufacturing jobs. It's isolated us from our allies. His foreign policy has pushed up to people like Putin and Netanyahu, even though they're committing war crimes and human rights violations, which again is isolating us from our allies and hurting us internationally. His immigration policy has elements that are very inhumane and pretty much anti-constitutional. Speaking of the Constitution, he's anti-First Amendment and anti-free speech. We can see that from Colbert and Kimmel. Honestly, I could do this for a really long time. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, so I want to kind of address some of those a little bit, like one by one. One, the tariff policies. I think it's pretty unanimous on both sides of the aisle that we've said manufacturing jobs have been leaving for a long time. Now, I would agree with you that potentially the excuses that are used to justify the tariffs being things like drugs or fentanyl, I think are weak. But recognizing that we all agree that we're losing those jobs overseas. And while there is short-term gain, I'm not trying to say that doesn't result in higher costs, but the long-term goal would be, if we weather those higher costs, that we bring back jobs. That doesn't happen overnight, and I don't even think it happens over a year or two. It's kind of one of those, you have to sacrifice now to gain tomorrow versus just trying to do whatever feels good in the short term.
Yeah, so let's pick apart a couple of those things. One, manufacturing jobs were actually coming back under the Biden administration, so that's incorrect. They didn't start leaving again until Trump got back into office. And while we have been losing manufacturing as a whole across many decades in the United States, they actually were starting to come back under the Biden administration. They started leaving after that. Second of all, Donald Trump.
What examples do you have?
The BLS statistics that show that they left.
Okay, what's the statistic?
That manufacturing jobs have left the United States since the Trump administration has begun.
No. I'm saying what you said that under the Biden administration that we were increasing in those jobs.
Yes, we were.
What's the exact statistic?
Sir, if you want to go look up the exact BLS statistic, I do not have the entire spreadsheet off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay? I would say that while we're having, say, a healthy debate, unless we have something concrete, just
I told you exactly where you could reference that jobs were going up and exactly where they were on things going down. Do you have any
Okay.
Do you have any data or sources to show the opposite of that?
But no, I'm not trying to say that there's going to be. My argument is that the pro to a tariff takes time.
Okay,
And
well,
that,
that's what I was trying to address when you started asking me about where I had my statistics from, which I already stated.
okay. And
I was actually
so
getting
then-
ready to address that.
Okay. And then a few of the other items.
Hold on, no, sir.
that you-
I'm still going to address it.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Tariffs are not bringing back jobs. They're doing the exact opposite. Not only that, but Donald Trump is not attempting to bring back jobs with his tariffs. And I can tell that because he tells you that. All right. He says, hey, I'm trying to bring back manufacturing jobs. And in the same breath, he also says, okay, I am trying to create better trade deals with other countries, and you can't do both. All right. Because if you're trying to create a better trade deal with another country, what you're saying is, I'm trying to get a better rate on another country's labor. All right. And Donald Trump's focus has been not on keeping the tariffs, but on making sure that we create better trade deals with other countries. Right. So Donald Trump's entire point of the tariffs is him to, again, get a cheaper cost for foreign labor, not trying to bring labor back to the United States. If that's what you were trying to do, then you would bring tariffs up, right? You would put them on a country or a group of countries or all the countries if that's what you really wanted to. And then there would be no negotiation, because the entire point would be to raise the cost of foreign goods to such a high point that manufacturing had to come back to the United States. All right. But that's not what Donald Trump is doing. He said 90 deals in 90 days. He's trying to create better trade deals from other countries. That's not going to bring back manufacturing. Actually, if we get a better trade deal, it's actually more likely to push those manufacturing to other countries, because now there's a more open trade deal.
So I hear what you're saying. I think the challenge is it's more a broad statement, and it's not super focused on where those trade deals are, who they're with. Let me ask you, would you agree that China poses the greatest long-term risk to U.S. security or U.S. interest?
Yeah, the reason why my statistic is not specific is because Donald Trump's tariffs are not specific. Okay, I can't make a...
I'm just asking, would you agree that China would be our greatest, adversary per se?
Sure, and that would be a great question if we were talking about why Donald Trump put tariffs on China and only China, right? But Donald Trump didn't put tariffs on China and only China, right? He put tariffs on everyone. So unless you also plan to do a deep dive on every single other country that Donald Trump put tariffs on and how that affects us economically in each specific way, or how we're using that to isolate from other countries. Like, are we going to talk about t-shirts from Vietnam, or are we going to talk about brooms from Indonesia, or are you only planning to talk about China?
No, what I'm trying to say is using tariffs don't have to be a one purpose mission. It's possible, and I'm not saying that this is his exact plan, but it is possible that he's using tariffs as a direct hurt for manufacturing with certain countries, and then using it as a persuasion tool with others to get better deals. And we would rather, if we're going to give our business overseas, give it to these other partners, say in Europe, where we've had our most advantageous deals, as opposed to countries that have opposing opinions or perspectives to the U.S.
Again, that works great if you were to put it on a singular country. The problem is, if you put it on all the countries, it completely undoes your entire argument. Because if the entire point was to put it on countries that have a problem with the United States, right, in order to isolate us away from those countries, those countries, like say you were trying to say with China and the Uyghurs, right, that'd be fine. But then you would need another place to go to, right? And Donald Trump also tariffed the place in which we went to. So his broad tariffs take away that entire argument.
I'm just saying that it's, and again, it's not a one size fit all, but there's an argument to be made that we are having deals with countries that we support that are more advantageous to us now than they were before, say with Great Britain or the EU and other countries, Japan just recently, South Korea. And then we have higher tariffs on countries like China or others where, the interests aren't so aligned. But moving past that, I guess
let's not move past that, because you said
on a geopolitical...
No, we're not moving past that, because you said a couple inaccuracies. Okay. There has been no signed trade deal with Japan, and there has been no signed trade deal with the South Korea that does any of the things that you're talking about. And we're looking at the trade deals when it comes to the UK and the EU. All right, both of those raised the baseline tariff on both those countries to previous to Donald Trump's tariffs, right? So if the whole idea was to bring in manufacturing from those countries to isolate us, then these trade deals did the exact opposite of that.
Insane.
Yeah, I think I would struggle because the strategic trade and investment agreement was literally just agreed upon between the U.S. and Japan. So
It was signed?
and they've got a well, I don't know if it's signed. So
It's
you
not.
can correct me on the signage. I would take that. That's totally fine.
So therefore,
I'm
we don't
not
have a
willing
trade
to say
deal.
that it's not signed. Okay, maybe. I mean, if you want to get technical on the signing, I mean, I'll take that out. That's fine.
It's
So
not
my
getting
next
technical,
question
sir.
would-
If I go to buy a car, but I don't sign the paperwork that says that I bought the car, then do I own the car?
Well, I mean, I live in the state of California where there's a verbal agreement is binding.
A verbal being. So if I just say, "Hey, I want to negotiate the car price of this car," and you say, "Hey, that price of that car sounds really, really good," and I go, "Yeah, that price of that car does sound really, really good," I'm gonna go talk to my wife, which would be the Prime Minister of Japan, by the way. I'm gonna go talk to my wife and get permission from her before we actually go, sign this deal, right? Then what you're saying is, I've already bought that car and it's mine.
No, what I'm saying is if I tell the salesman I'll take it, in California that's legally binding. That's me agreeing to the purchase price.
I am
But that's fine. I'm not trying to get-
99.999% sure that is a full lie.
You should talk to a lawyer about that, about at least California. In California, a verbal agreement is binding. Now, it's hard to prove in court, but that's a whole nother thing. I'll let you Google that one.
Yeah, I'm going to, because I think you're completely lying.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's wait.
No, a verbal agreement alone does not mean you bought a car in California because vehicle sales are subject to the California Commercial Code and Statute of Frauds, which requires a written agreement for contracts over $500. While verbal contracts can be binding, proving their existence in terms of challenging without proper documentation or formal title transfer, the Department of Vehicles ownership is not legally established.
Exactly. So, and
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really thought
It's not
this,
my
but I
car.
wasn't-
Exactly.
Let me ask you, will you acknowledge that it says that verbal agreements are binding in the state of California?
While verbal contracts can be binding, not are binding.
Okay. Then I would say
Maybe
that
you should
for the
talk to a
spirit of the
lawyer about
debate,
it.
I would say that for the spirit of the debate, like there should be mutual, I maybe that there can't be. This is where I'm a little bit confused because you said that I'm lying. It pulls up. Yes, there's technicalities with automotive industry, and you're so focused on that. You're not willing to meet me in the middle for dialogue.
Sir, I'm not trying to meet you in the middle because you're claiming a trade deal has happened that has not happened.
No, I'm saying that there's an agreement in place.
No, there was trade negotiations.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So let me ask you, do you still want to talk about this one? Or can we move on to one of the other list of
You can move on to whatever you like.
So let me ask you on a geopolitical level with, say, the wars that are going on around the world, the different examples between Trump. Now, one thing that you said is the relationship between the U.S. and its allies being worse than it was because of things like the tariffs and the rhetoric. But then my argument would...
And Netanyahu and just general speaking that doesn't make any sense. But go ahead.
So my question would be, how would you see Kamala Harris handling things differently or better than Trump?
Easy. She just wouldn't make a complete ass of herself.
That's not substantive. That's just opinion. Or honestly, it's not even opinion. That's just saying something to say it. That's just me being like, well, Kamala's a jackass.
Well, Donald Trump is up on stage making an ass of himself, right? I don't know if you watched the UN General Council speech. Okay. I don't know if you watched that or not. I did watch it. Unfortunately, it was very embarrassing for the country. Okay. And while I don't know if Kamala Harris would have been a good president, it's impossible for me to project like Miss Cleo into a crystal ball and see exactly what she would have done as president. Okay. She is a well-spoken, calculated person who is a lawyer with a degree in economics, right?
Kamala Harris was
sir,
well-spoken?
I'm speaking. Awesome. And because she was actually practiced and would have actually prepared for a speech where she actually had to talk to the UN General Council, where Donald Trump obviously didn't, she would have been up there talking about world affairs while Donald Trump was complaining about an escalator. Now go ahead.
So can you show me an example where under the Biden administration, the U.S. was leading the way in war situations to bring about peace?
Yeah, we actually, what do you mean in war situations we're bringing out peace? First of all, the United States was not
Yeah,
at
where
war.
countries break out in war and Biden ends the war.
Yeah, can you
through
show me where Donald
negotiation.
Trump has?
Sure, easy.
Sure, go ahead.
Like multiple.
Sure.
I would say the biggest one being, what was it, Pakistan and India?
Yeah, the one where the prime minister of India said specifically and unequivocally the Donald Trump administration in the United States had zero to do with this ceasefire. That one?
That's news to me. When did he say that?
Oh, the day Donald Trump said that he stopped that war.
Okay, and so who brought about the peace then?
Pakistan and India.
Okay. Let me ask you, what about trying to end the Ukraine-Russian war?
Biden also tried to in the Ukrainian-Russian war.
What did he do?
Yeah, he implemented tariffs on Russia. He had a firm stance against Russia and their invasion of a sovereign country. And actually, if you look at after the invasion, if you look towards the end of Biden's administration, casualties were actually significantly down by us providing weapons and support and also supplying NATO with support for Ukraine to stand on its own as a sovereign nation. Where Donald Trump has, since he has been in, all he has done, is cower to Putin and let him eat out of his hand. He changes his stance on Putin literally depending on who he meets with. Last month, they didn't even need a ceasefire because he talked to Putin. And then this month, he believes that Ukraine should end the war and that we should provide all the weapons that we should to help Ukraine, all the while Ukrainian casualties have increased since he's been president.
So I guess my wrestle here is the war never ended for 4 years, or not 4 years, but since it had started under Biden. And I'll just say, I think the biggest debate that we saw with Biden is the amount of support that the U.S. was supposed to give, but there was never any end in sight.
There wasn't an end in sight because Vladimir Putin did not want to come to the table to give up the land that he stole. And right now, we're still providing all those weapons, and we're still no closer to a deal than we were before. Except for, again, casualties are higher, and we look like freaking pathetic little babies in front of the whole rest of the world as we cower to Russia.
What would you do different?
What would I do different? I would support Ukraine in their sovereignty because I think that is important for the United States.
Wait, what do you mean support? How would you support them?
Yes, sir. That's what I was going to say at the end of that sentence before you cut me off. You'd be surprised what you would probably learn and not even have to ask the question on if you'd stop cutting me off.
It's interesting the amount of insecurities you have to where you
I'm
have
not
to focus
insecurity at all, sir. I'm
now you're
literally,
cutting me off while I'm making
yes,
a
I am
comment,
cutting you
so
off,
that's
child.
interesting.
Yes, I am cutting you off, child.
See, and then
I
you
was
say
in the
silence.
middle. Shh.
If you don't have something substantive, you have to go to
All right, that's fine. You're okay. Okay. I said one part of a sentence in which I was describing how I would support Ukraine, and you cut me off to ask me the rest of the sentence. Okay? So, again, if you would act like an adult and not a petulant little child and let me finish my stance, then we'd be past this already.
see. It's those type of comments.
And
that
here
divide
comes the
country.
crying and whining. All right, well, go ahead and get it off your chest. I don't have time for all of this. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting that you can't have a debate or a dialogue that doesn't sink to personal attacks.
All right. Well, this guy go ahead and cries. I'll just go ahead and mute him and put up some super chats. Lovely Goddess says, where does Trumpers buy their delusional tea from? I believe it's on Etsy. I'm not for sure, though. Where do you buy your delusional tea from? That's a joke. You're muted. Dismay, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It said, why do you do what you do? I could understand if it was during the election, but it's not. So what's the end game? Because I believe Okay, that we should be able to have good dialogue between two people that actually want to have good dialogue. That when we come together from different sides, we're able to actually have educational conversation and we're able to actually fix things. See, the important part of that stance, though, okay, is that people need to be able to talk. And when I'm in the middle of a sentence trying to explain how, if it was my job to support this war, how I would do it, being cut off just to have someone yell what you're trying to explain is very, not helpful to the conversation. So that's why I do what I do. Are you finished yet, sir? I was just wondering.
Am I still muted?
That depends. Are you finished?
So is that a freedom of speech thing, or?
There is no freedom of speech here, sir. You should read the First Amendment.
So there's no freedom of speech?
Sir, do you know what the First Amendment says?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm muted or not.
Insane.
Oh, well, it shouldn't matter. Do you know what the First Amendment says? I'll let you know since you don't want to speak. That's fine. Cat's got your tongue. The First Amendment protects you from the government impeding on your freedom of speech. Like when the FCC commissioner says, oh, we can do this the hard way, or we can do this easy way about moving Kimmel from national television, right? Like when he goes out and the government specifically tries to stop the freedom of speech, like they did with with AP News, like they did with Colbert, like they did with Kimmel, and it protects you from freedom of expression and freedom of all sorts of other things, like burning the flag, which the Trump administration is trying to make illegal. What it doesn't protect you from, okay, is me on my live on a private app and whether or not you can speak on it. Okay, it doesn't protect you from that at all.
So what you're saying is you hold the right to mute people who you want to mute.
No, I just mute petulant children.
See, again, the condescendingness.
That's not condescending.
This is why it is so difficult. Like, let me ask
here
you,
he comes
again. Is your goal to
all right, Shaw, I think I'm about to just move on to the
mind?
next person. No, my job is not to change your mind. I don't give a shit about your mind. My job is to educate people.
Yeah, see, this is where I think it's
which I was trying to do. I was trying to educate people. I was trying to educate people before I was rudely cut off. Okay. So, and since I'm tired of your whining, I will go ahead and finish my sentence. Oh, he ran away. Anyways, you didn't miss anything. He just cried a lot. Okay. Don't worry. He just cried a lot. What I was trying to say was that if it was me that was in charge of doing something, I would support Ukraine. That's where I got cut off. Okay. I would do that by providing weapons. I would do that by making sure that sanctions got put up against Russia to make sure that we are crippling them financially. We need to make sure that every day that Russia spends in another country that is not there invading the sovereignty of one of our allies, okay, that their people suffer because Putin is still beholden to his people, to his oligarchs. And until they feel the pressure that the United States and NATO and other countries are putting on them, that is when they will actually end the war and not before that. As long as they still feel like they can hold on to some type of power, then they will never try to end this war. Now you can respond. Oh, wait, you're not here because you ran away. My bad. I apologize. I forgot you weren't there. Anyways, Anakin said, with all due respect, learn East European history. I have. With all due respect, I have. And Anakin Skywalker also said, as usual, when a lib doesn't like an argument, he mutes the other person. Double standards. I'm not a lib. I'm someone who's trying to have conversation here. It's not my fault that you all were raised by, I don't know, not your mothers. This is straight motherless behavior to act like that. Okay. But hey, I was ready to have a conversation. It's unfortunate that people don't want to do that. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next caller. Well, I was actually going to end about now, but why not? I'll take one more since that one was kind of a waste of time. Really sucks too. I was all the way in on that conversation. Ronald, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Tara, thank you so much for the money gun. Y'all, if y'all would like to support, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And that was not condescending. That was a direct attack.
Insane.
I think y'all need to learn the difference between me insulting you and me being condescending. Hello? Hello, how are you?
Great, and you?
Awesome. How old are you?
50?
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
100%.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
The reason why I'm a health provider. So the whole thing of the vaccine
Insane.
mandate was, to me, fascist. Also, opening our borders to anyone, risking the lives of my family, was
Insane.
the worst thing that this administration, even if Obama did the same thing, but then he kind of changed his mind and went back and said, okay, let's bring everybody out.
All right, awesome.
Thomas
So
Dow-
two things. We'll go
Uh-huh.
to the second one, but I want to address the first one first.
Of course.
Second
of
of
course.
all, but let's start with a quick thing on the second one. There was no open border policy, so that didn't exist. But let's move back
he
to
took
the
away
vaccine.
policies. He took away policies.
He did not take away
He
any
did take-
policies,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he
not
did.
that affected undocumented immigrants. But regardless,
What he did is that he took away catch and release. That was important. He took away
no, he didn't. What policy
he did.
took? What policy took away catch and
catch
release?
catch and release. All you have to do is Google it. Catch and release. He took
I
it
know what
away.
catch and release
Title-
is. What policy did the
Title-
Biden administration put in that ended that or started that? I
No,
guess.
he ended. He ended.
All right. What policy was that then?
That could have. That's why he made all this commotion that people. thought
What
that they could
policy
come
did he end, ma'am? That's the question I'm asking you. You're saying he ended a policy. I'm asking you what
Catch-
policy he ended.
Okay, if you let me speak, I'll be happy.
Then can you
to
answer
say
it?
I am, but you're not letting me.
No, you're like, oh, we did this and this affected this. and
No,
that. I just
no.
want to know which policy he
We're-
ended. That's
we're-
all.
A reminder: we're both adults. Let's talk.
Well, I'm waiting for
Now,
you to act like one, ma'am.
like-
which policy did he end?
100%. Okay, again, he took away Title 42. He took away catch and release.
Incorrect.
Also, background sponsors to undocumented
Yeah,
children.
incorrect.
that-
Title
that-
42 was not
no,
ended.
yes, it did.
No, Title
it did.
42 expired.
Okay, there you go. But did he renew it?
Why would he? What under what
Did he-
condition
did
would
he-
he?
did he renew
Under
it?
what?
Something that helps the country.
Ma'am,
Because you-
under what condition would? Under what condition?
Wait a minute.
Under
You just
what
insulted-
condition?
you
Under
just
what
insulted
condition?
me.
All right, I'll just say the question. You can listen or not. I don't really care. Under what
No, but
condition
you're
would he
being
have
rude.
renewed
You're-
Title 42?
Because it will help the country.
Ma'am,
to
what
get
is
every
Title
person that
42?
comes- That's a way to get these people into the an area that they could come in and go to court and have them.
What
stand by
conditions
until
are
they come-
required for Title 42 is what I'm asking you.
When I'm asking and what I'm saying is that these could have helped us.
Ma'am,
get
regardless of whether
everybody
you
in.
think it could have helped, Title 42, what is it?
How did millions of people get here just for the hell of it?
Ma'am,
People
what
died because of
is
everything.
Title
Just opened the
42?
borders and took away even background sponsors.
Oh my God!
of
Now you guys
children.
see. Now you guys see why I try to
no,
keep the
not-
conversation on a certain point, because this lady
Yeah,
is
well,
not up here to have a conversation. She is just hollering. I don't even know
No,
what she's
well,
hollering
you
about.
insult
She
the other
obviously doesn't
gentleman,
know what
and
Title.
I cannot respect somebody who insults
No,
people
ma'am,
when
ma'am,
we're having a
Ma'am,
conversation.
we're not having a conversation. You're just hollering.
Oh, look who's speaking. You're the one who
Okay,
started.
I am
was
asking
talking and
you
stopped
what
me.
Title 42 is. It is not a trick question. It's not a
Title
difficult
42, when
question.
you get into a safe haven country that has an embassy and has a way to vet everyone in and go to court and have
Incorrect.
everybody. Of course,
Title
incorrect.
42 is an emergency
Uh-huh.
measure based off of a health emergency. Okay. So the only reason that Title 42 was implemented was because of the COVID pandemic. And since by the time Title 42 had ended, people were already back to work and we were at a spot where the pandemic was under control, there was no justification to extend a health title unless there was a health emergency. You don't just get to implement Title 42 just because you fucking feel like it or because you think it will help the
Okay,
country.
word,
That
the
is
word.
not the way
proper.
that Title
Let's be
42 works.
proper.
Now, let
Do
me.
not curse to a woman. Do not curse to a woman. Be proper.
Are you a woman?
First of all, well, I'm not going to even answer that.
Okay, well then I'm going to curse at you if you can't answer it. Anyways, it is for healthcare, which I thought you
doesn't
would have
matter if
known
I'm a woman or a man, it
specifically
doesn't
said.
matter.
Well, you said don't curse at a woman. Okay.
Okay, of course. But, you
Yeah.
know, you be proper. You're very rude.
Why would I be
You're such a
proper?
rude person.
You're not being proper.
Of course.
You're being
I
kind
am,
of an
but you're
asshole,
very
to be
proper.
completely
You just
honest
don't
with
like
you.
what I'm- You just don't don't like what I'm saying.
No, what you're saying
That's
is
the problem.
just
Because
objectively incorrect.
This is your way. This is your way. Instead of having a proper conversation, you insult people.
Ma'am,
That's
I'm not
what
even.
your
I
way
haven't
of
even
doing it.
insulted you. Well, I did just call you an asshole. Besides
that-
that, I
that-
hadn't
that-
really done it. Okay,
Right.
but Title
Well,
42,
this
you're
is
saying
why.
that he could have
This is
extended
why
it.
The
You're-
Democrat Party is becoming.
I'm not a Democrat, ma'am.
Whoever you are, I
Okay.
know you're not a Republican. and
Well, you're
not
right
proper.
because
Because
if I was a Republican, I would be
conversations
hollering and
about each other.
screaming incorrect information like
So-
you are.
Well, you know what? We're not
Okay.
killing people. You guys are. You guys are killing
You're not.
people.
What about Melissa
Yes, you
Hortman?
are. Even that, but I'm talking about right
No,
now.
what about
she's-
Melissa
she's
Hortman,
up
ma'am?
into- She is sadly children lost their parents, and that was very sad.
Who is
And I
Melissa
don't
Hortman?
really she was a congresswoman. I know who
Who
she
was
is,
killed by
and
who?
died by someone who worked.
Oh,
with her.
gotcha. So when
Worked
she's
with her.
killed, you guys don't do anything. But when somebody on your side is
No, of
killed,
course,
just being
of
clear.
course. What
Second of
what
all,
is it that we supposed to do?
second of all,
What is it we're supposed
second
to
of
do?
all,
Because we
okay,
see her, I feel
you should
terrible
learn.
for her and her
you sh-
children. Because
And
children
I feel
lost
bad for
their
Charlie Kirk's children also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can still
Okay.
care about people's children and
There
their
you go,
families,
100
regardless of which side they're on. None
we
of
don't
that makes your
celebrate. We're very
understanding of
spiritual.
immigration
We're very
even
spiritual, and we
logical.
believe in-
Okay,
And we're
nothing
very
makes
spiritual, and we don't want
nothing
people
makes
to die.
nothing makes your understanding of immigration any more logical. Okay, you
No matter-
you don't
I'm an
understand it.
immigrant.
Okay,
I came
let
to
me ask you a
this
question.
country
Under
properly.
what law are we under when it comes to immigration right now? Goodness gracious. See, this is why people like her, they don't actually want to have a conversation because they understand that literally any scrutiny to anything they're saying doesn't hold water. That's why they keep yapping. Ellie, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. As Ellie said, first time viewer and really enjoyed the stream. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much, Ellie. I really appreciate that. Anakin, Brad, man, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. And Anakin said, propaganda raised you, Christ is king. You guys, y'all make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Hail Satan! Come from the unders. Can I get 666 in the chat? Can I get Hail Satan, may you come from your Hades and bring forth the prayers to Anakin. Can I get 666 in the chat, please? Thank you so much. May Satan rise from the fires and anoint young Anakin. Thank you guys so much for the chats. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's do one more caller. Let's do one more. We'll do one more. Oh, goodness. Hello, how are you?
W. Megan.
Hello, how are you? Oh, shit.
It's insane.
Hello, how are you? Tobin! Hell yeah, dude. Hello?
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
It's
Pretty good. How about you?
insane.
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I am 23.
Awesome. Rob, thank you so much, too, with the 666 super chat. W's in chat for Robin Tobin with the 666 super chats. Hell yeah, dude. Anyways, do you still support Trump?
50-50 on that.
Why are you 50-50?
I feel like he hasn't really kept a bunch of his promises so far.
Yeah, no shit.
In terms of the economy and, look at what's going on with the tariffs.
You mean the things he said he was going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do well for the economy the first time, and don't know why you thought he would do well for it now.
I mean, it was really the better of two evils, in my opinion. That's why I voted for him over Kamala.
Awesome. So Donald Trump is, again, a 34 times felon.
It's insane. insane.
A 34 times felon, an adjudicated sexual assaulter, someone who brags about having sex in common with his daughter, brags about freaking going backstage to see teen girls naked at Miss Teen USA pageants. Someone who defrauded a children's cancer charity, no longer even allowed to run a cancer charity or a charity in New York because he was literally stealing from kids with cancer. Someone who cheated on his first wife with his second wife with his third wife with a porn star while he was pregnant, and then tried to pay her off so it didn't happen. And Kamala Harris did what to be more evil than that?
Well, this is going to be a very controversial take on my end, but Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis.
All right.
It's insane.
At least we have our normal education level for a Trump supporter. Kind of strange. Anyways, I guess tonight just might be a loss. I'm not really sure. Anakin, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Father Satan, for I do know what I do. Y'all, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Jen said, sorry if I missed it, but how's the fur baby doing? Oh, she's doing great. Thank you for asking, Jen. Summer's doing much better. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate that. Don, thank you so much for the $2 or 99999. DR, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says mega brain cult crash out entertainment. She's screaming on your live. Hilarious 666. Hell yeah, DR. There's a chat for DR for that awesome super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Y'all, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I know I tried to get up one more. It just not working out. So, I mean, what are we gonna do? I tried my best. So, I'll be back on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. I'll see you guys then. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening, all right? See you guys later. Bye. Bye. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much.